Okay, so remember how a couple of days ago, or whenever I posted a video, I mentioned how there is this exhibition related to Arcane happening in Montpellier. If you want, you can check that for additional information, but the idea is that some people already visited the exhibition and they took some pictures, right? There are a few threads already on Twitter. I will go on and talk about this particular thread. Then in other videos, maybe I will talk about the other threads, because some of the other threads are more complete than this one. But even then, props to this person for going to check the exposition and then taking these images for other people to see. Obviously, the link is in the description if you want to check it yourself, because I don't want to go through every single image. I will go through a few of them which are more interesting than the others, or at least I will talk more about those ones. Because what I want to talk more about is in the beginning of the thread, I will start with the end of it, but don't worry, I will quickly go through this, right? It's pretty fast. So Ekko and Victor in the final battle. I don't remember it looking this epic, but maybe I have to go and rewatch the show. Ekko looking much younger in this drawing right here. Maybe they wanted at one point to go for some flashbacks from the alternate timeline, because this is definitely something taken from the alternate timeline. This drawing right here is something I recognize from the show. I believe it is part of a notebook. I could be wrong, either way. Then we have this jinx right here. That one is something I recognize as being part of the art book. And that's because some people already shared certain pages of the art book, and there are some pages which explore Jinx's final look. Then we have a page for Civica, and I really like the design. I love how Jinx decided to make something for Civica as a sign of peace, right? If you played the Jinx Fixes Everything minigame, you can find out everything she thinks about Civica whenever she is creating her new arm, right? And the reason why she wants to create the new arm. Pretty cool nonetheless. Then of course we have Jinx and a cutout with Ekko. Now obviously, as you can see, she is already wearing Ekko's jacket, and what's so interesting about this image, other than the fact that she might take the cutout away and steal it, is the fact that she decided to use Warwick's regenerative abilities. And what do I mean by that? In the show, we know that Singed praises Warwick's regenerative abilities, and whenever Vi is fighting him, we can see her obliterating his jaw, but he immediately regenerates it, right? And she did something similar over here with her finger. She regenerated it, and this confirms that she has the same abilities Warwick has, and that's very impressive. Of course, she also chose to paint her nail with a similar style as the mechanical finger, with a smiley face on the nail, right? Which is pretty cool. Now, other than that, maybe you can give me your own opinions in the comment section. Then we have a map of Piltover, Ekko's weapons, a wanted sign with Jinx, which I believe is part of the art book as additional goodies, but I will know once I receive the art book. Who knows when that's gonna happen. A plushie with Rio, the bunny plushie from the show, Ekko's mask, that's pretty cool, a pin related to Jinx, and one related to the Firelights. We also have Jinx's toy, or rather Powder's toy, and as far as I remember, this one was up for sale on the official Riot Games website, but I might misremember that one. Other than that, we have Whiskers, the grenade. I think that's the name of the grenade. Now, of course, there are other cool images, but I want to talk about one in particular, and of course, as I said, the link is in the description if you want to check it out yourself. The thread, I mean, right? As you can see, it is Ekko and Powder. Maybe you are thinking that's Jinx. No, you can read the description over here. I mean, you can't. But the description says, up here we have the apocalyptic timeline, the one with Chase, and down here we have the timeline from episode 7, Ekko and Powder. I believe, because this is the alternate timeline, and because we can see that Ekko is wearing the Firelight clothes, and it seems like Powder is wearing the Firelight clothes, and it also seems like they are in maybe Ekko's workshop, Benzo's shop, one of those. It could be that this is tied to a moment, a scene which was deleted. It is a scene which was mentioned by Amanda Overton, and it's a scene from the 7-year time skip where Ekko, while building the Firelights, he wants to get closer to Silco because he believes that Silco kept Powder prisoner, and whenever he is inside Silco's lair he sees her, he sees Powder, and tells her that he's there to rescue her. Powder tells him that she doesn't want to be rescued, she's jinxed now, and whenever Ekko tries to pull her out physically, she slaps him, similarly to how Vi slapped her in episode 3 of season 1. That scene was deleted, but maybe they are referencing a timeline where Powder, instead of slapping him, instead of not caring for what Ekko says, she believes him, she understands that Ekko values her, she understands the words Ekko tells her, and she decides to go with Ekko instead of staying with Silco. And that's why they both end up being part of the Firelights, and it seems like they are working on a project or something that the kids can play with. Or it seems like it. Of course, this is concept art, but I still think this is a pretty cool idea. A timeline where Ekko and Powder end up being part of the Firelights together. Now, obviously it is not what we see in the show, in the final cut, and it's only something to think about, not something to complain that it should have been part of the show, right? Just theories and nothing else. Obviously, you could argue, and it makes a lot of sense, to think that because we now have alternate timelines, there is a version of a timeline where this can happen. I agree with that chain of thoughts, why not? It can happen. Now, of course, you can tell me your own opinion in the comment section, maybe give me your own idea of a timeline where this makes sense, while also considering all the other elements, for example, Ekko having those hair pieces related to Powder, and also Powder having those purple hair streaks, maybe referencing Vi, and maybe where is Vi in a possible timeline like this one? Is she dead? Is she alive? There are many possibilities which can bring a timeline like this one to life, but as I said, if you want to, you can give me your own ideas in the comment section. For now, that's all I wanted to say related to this concept art. Because we are still on the topic of alternate timelines, the multiverse, right? I made a separate video where I talked about the possibility of Powder from the alternate timeline we can see in episode 7 of the second season of Arcane going to the main timeline. Is that possible for her to accomplish? Is that something she actually wants to do? Well, yes. Yes for the first question. It's something that she can do. But is it something that she wants to do? We have to take a look at everything that's given to us in the show. But if you don't care about watching that, you can definitely subscribe to the channel. Thanks.